This is a big news coming in this morning. The Ministry of Home Affairs has granted approval to the Enforcement Directorate, and that is to prosecute Aam Aadmi Party's convener Arvind Kejriwal in specifically one case, which is the money laundering case revolving around the alleged excise scam. Ahead of Delhi elections, remember, this could prove to be trouble for former Delhi Chief Minister. Earlier, Delhi LG Vijay Kumar Saxena gave his nod to prosecute Arvind Kejriwal. Just to give you a background, the money laundering case, which the ED is investigating, is with regard to the alleged Delhi liquor excise policy case in which the former CM was arrested, then he got bail. But this is clearly proven to be trouble for him. The Home Ministry has given an approval, as is protocol, to prosecute also Manish Sisodia if required. Remember the two top leaders. And excise policy was, while mainly big trouble for Manish Sisodia because he was handling the portfolio at that time in the Delhi government, but it appeared that Arvind Kejriwal was acting as the intermediary, as mediator between different parties, that there were approvals given by Arvind Kejriwal on this matter. Joining me, India Today's Manish Pandey. Manish closely tracks the investigative agencies. Manish, tell us more. What does this approval mean and what happens here on once the MHA grants the approval to ED to prosecute, if required, former Delhi CM?
Well, Pooja, in the run-up to Delhi elections, this will have a far-reaching political implications because remember, since day one, since the day Aam Aadmi Party's Vijay Nair was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, Aam Aadmi Party has been alleging that this is nothing but a political vendetta by the centre and the Bharatiya Janata Party. But as far as this prosecution sanction is concerned, remember, the Supreme Court had recently mandated that even the Enforcement Directorate needs a prosecution sanction if they want to start a trial in any money laundering case. In this case, when the Enforcement Directorate started investigating the case, not only Vijay Nair, certain private individuals, but also top leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, including then Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and later then Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, were arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. The Enforcement Directorate had requested the LG and then the Ministry of Home Affairs to grant prosecution sanctions so that the trial can be initiated in this case. And now that prosecution sanction from the Ministry of Home Affairs essentially means that the trial against Arvind Kejriwal can be started by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate has got a prosecution sanction for the entire case. It means that all the public servant, including Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia and others, the trial can be started against everyone. So this will have a far-reaching political implications because remember, the Aam Aadmi Party has been alleging, and recently not only Bharatiya Janata Party, but even the Congress Party has jumped into this battle, and they have been alleging that the Congress Party was the first party to raise objections, to raise this awareness that there has been money laundering, there has been a scam as far as the entire liquor policy which was brought in by the Aam Aadmi Party. So, Pooja, the next step by the Enforcement Directorate will be that they will be informing the trial court that they want to start trial against Arvind Kejriwal, then Chief Minister of Delhi, also against Manish Sisodia, then
Manish, does that mean, and because we are heading to elections as well in barely next to 15-20 days now, February 5th, can this coincide as investigation, as questioning, probably much worse with that regard, or will that get postponed after the elections, or is it going to be simultaneous?
Well, Pooja, this election will have no impact as far as any investigative agency is concerned, and here it is the Enforcement Directorate. So, Enforcement Directorate, the trial can continue, and if needed, they can call anyone for questioning also. But as far as the procedure is concerned, the Enforcement Directorate will be informing the trial court that they have a prosecution sanction not only from LG but also from the Ministry of Home Affairs, and now the trial in this case can be started not only against Arvind Kejriwal but also against Manish Sisodia and other public servants in this case. So this will have certainly, as far as the legal hurdles were concerned, that legal hurdles for the Enforcement Directorate are over. But as far as the political implications are concerned, as you rightly pointed out, Pooja, this will have a far-reaching political implications because remember, recently even Rahul Gandhi, in his speech, claimed that Aam Aadmi Party is a corrupt party. And as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, remember, in the multiple charge sheet which has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate, the ED has throughout maintained that Arvind Kejriwal was not only the kingpin of this entire alleged scam, but also he was the main conspirator. And in a recent reportedly CAG report, it has been pointed out that there was a scam of more than 2,000 crore rupees. And as far as ED and Central Bureau of Investigation are concerned, they have been maintaining that a bribe of more than 100 crore rupees was paid by the South Cartel to the
Manish,
Aam Aadmi
tell me
Party
this,
leaders.
like the background that you're giving me led to the arrest of the former CM, of the former deputy CM as well, but they've been granted bail as well. Just take us through how the ED approval to prosecute will be different from how already the investigation has been in this case.
Well, Pooja, the investigation was already going on. The investigation will have no impact as far as prosecution sanction is concerned. This was only a legal hurdle for the Enforcement Directorate because earlier there was no need by the Enforcement Directorate to take any prosecution sanction from any authority in this country. They were within their power to, file a charge sheet against any person, whether the person is public servant or not. But here, in a different, separate case, the Supreme Court recently mandated that even the prosecution sanction is needed by the ED. Earlier, it was only needed by the state police and the Central Bureau of Investigation. But after this legal hurdle, which was mandated by the Supreme Court, the Enforcement Directorate had written to the proper authorities, which includes the LG of Delhi, Ministry of Home Affairs, and now this prosecution sanction will mean it will essentially mean that the trial in this case can be started by the ED. And remember, the trial is extremely important because most of the accused in this case were granted bail because the trial was not started by the trial court, by the
Please stay on with me. Stay on with me because, it's very curious. It's a case of, remember, a serious one of liquor excise policy scam allegedly. Aam Aadmi Party completely denying these charges, remember, and has been saying that this is political vendetta against them. But what really are the charges then? Let me take you through. Manish, please stay on with me. So just to jog your memory, according to charges against Arvind Kejriwal, he was then the Delhi CM, not handling the portfolio of the excise. But the policy was drafted at his residence, in which manner it means he was the one supervising it. He was the one giving approvals to what needs to be added to it. Manish Sisodia, who was a former deputy CM, also was managing the portfolio at that point, changed the liquor policy officially in his name, and the policy that existed earlier in Delhi, and then in a manner in which it became, as we commonly called it, 1+1. There were certain vendors who it was opened up to, and that then led to certain charges as well. Now, one Dinesh Arora, who was an accused turned witness, met Manish Sisodia, and therefore that is where then the whole chain trail allegedly started to begin. There were, remember, other businessmen, entrepreneurs, not just from Delhi, but from, as the South Cartel, as it is called, came and met the Delhi leaders as well. Now, Sanjay Singh, the AAP MP, Dinesh Arora met him and Sisodia as well. So Sanjay Singh was basically the intermediary. He was the mediator between these different businessmen and those who can help not just draft a policy, of course, but in many ways the allegation was, were they either providing certain money or there was money that was helping not just the vendors or those associated with the liquor industry, but eventually to the leaders as well. So this is what the investigation currently has been in this case, and that precisely is the big charge against the AAP leader.